Can you hear me?
No.
Hannah, will you desist? I'm really, you are getting beyond it now. Every flipping time. Can you hear me, guys? Sorry, just having a little rollicking at Hannah there. Can you guys hear me? Please do let me know. Okay, so just waiting just for somebody to let me know that they can hear me.
Chances are they can hear you, sweetheart.
I know, but I want to make sure. Oh, loud and clear. Thank you, Patsy. Okay, let's see who we've got in here tonight. So far, we've got Anna Karen, Katinka, Ebony, Gail, Celia, Patsy, Sandy. Just wind my screen down a bit. That's all of you that's chatting at the moment. Good evening, everybody. Hope we're all doing well on this lovely Wednesday evening. Hello, Helen and Cheryl. A few more of you coming in now. How are we all doing today? Are we well? Hi, Grace. So Wednesday evening, it is She Sleeps time, and rather terribly, I haven't worked on this since last Wednesday. The model stitch has taken up a fair bit of time. There were nearly 7,000 stitches on it, so but that's gone back today with a photograph in the email to let her know that it's coming back and the tracking, and she's very happy. So all good. So we are back. I am back to my normal stitchy schedule. So for now, yeah, indeed.
There's things can happen.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to, you know.
I might get another model stitch.
Well, if you do, you do. That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, always a good thing.
There you go. I'm thinking positive.
Always a good thing. So yeah. And I'm doing well, thank you for asking. Had a fairly, I know we're on it Wednesday. It's been a fairly good week at work. I delivered some training on Monday, and the people who were taking the training took it very, very well and have been absolutely amazing. And I'm absolutely buzzing because the big boss, she is very happy. And when the big boss is happy, all is well in the world. So, yeah, I had an office day yesterday. We done anything else much this week? I don't think we have we, love? Not yet.
Not yet.
So, yeah. Just keep on trucking. So, what are we all working on? So, like I said, She Sleeps, I've not touched it since last Wednesday. Or I don't think I have anyway. The days have kind of blurred into one, I'll be quite honest. So, cool. So Gail's been working on an old project today, Mother and Cub. Ooh.
Mother and Cub.
Yeah, so it sounds to me like lions or tigers. Or it could be a couple of foxes. Cheryl's working on a Disney. Must be cracking on with that, Cheryl. Cosmic Marbles for Anna Karen. Sandy is still beavering away there on Daydream. Heather Edwards, Pain Free Crafts, 51.85%. Don't know if any of you guys on Facebook are following Sarah up at Pain Free Crafts, but it's just reminded me because that's the Pain Free Crafts that Sandy's working on. When we were at the retreat,
You're in the big stage.
yeah, the big stage, she took her the ice dragon that I've got for next year, the one that she'd finished, she took it for framing and she's posted a picture of it in the frame. It is absolutely gorgeous. The frame is stunning and the actual stitching itself, well, it's just beautiful. So if you are following Sarah on Pain Free Crafts, or if you're in Full Coverage Fanatics group, certainly I've seen it in those two places. So yeah, have a peek if you haven't already. It's gorgeous. Hogsmeade for Patsy, 78.37%, just 7 colours left. Sounds good, Patsy. Did you see Hannah's diamond painting update? It was on my last floss tube. I got the diamond paintings down. As I said I would. Managed to tie a lever them out of Anna's hands. Snow Leopard is the mother and cub for Gail. So yeah, we were close with the leopard. Snow Leopard is where it's at. Okay, Helen is 93% on Tilton Crafts Sons of Anarchy piece. Why is it that the last few percent takes forever? Oh, I quite agree. It's one of those sod's law things, isn't it?
Yes. Catch.
You know, a bit like you know, if you drop a slice of bread and butter on the floor, it'll always land buttered side down, isn't it? You know, it's one of them sod's law kind of situations. But if you you know, if you just keep plugging away, Helen, just chip away and that finish will soon be there for you, I'm sure. So let's see, Katinka, Little Cake Shop by Amy Stewart, up to a whopping 34%. Super job, Katinka. Hi, Rosemary. How you doing this evening? Patsy, yes, you've seen Hannah's diamond painting. She's doing great. And Gail also says that the diamond paintings are looking good, Hannah. Patron Sated Green Child for Sussex Stitcher. Okay, up at 92.39%. Good stuff. Murphy's Law. Thank you, Rosemary. That's it. I just call it Sod's Law. But yeah, Murphy's Law. Same thing. It's one of them things that's, let me just do a couple of ninjas with this thread while I've got it. Same, it's bound to happen. The finish is bound to come. So yeah, you'll get there, Helen. You really truly will. Hannah, if you can hear her giggling in the background, we've got a little laser light for the cat. And we've learned how to confuse her.
It's literally the best thing this cat has ever had.
Yeah. She is confused to heck with it because you put the laser light near her, she goes to catch it, and then we just turn it off. And the look on the cat's face is a picture. It's like, where the heck has that gone?
£2 for your local bean.
Yeah. Honestly, it is.
I thought it was 150.
It's yes. I should say that other shops are available.
Yeah, and other cat lasers are available.
They are.
Specific one,
So
it's hilarious.
It's quite funny to watch her.
It is so funny.
Roll over.
You know, she'll roll over for it and everything. What I tend to do is just give it a little boop on her paws.
We couldn't have imagined when we bought it that it would have
such a good effect. No, we couldn't.
You weren't there when we got it.
Yeah, but Andy saw it the second it came in the house. Yeah. So, yeah, you've never seen a cat enjoy a toy so much, but then get mad so much. And then we saw Hannah saw a catnip ball that you stick to a surface for the cat to sort of rub itself on.
She went,
Oh, she goes nuts for it. This cat is utterly spoiled. I mean, she's got more collars than I've got change of shoes. She
"You've got
really
a collar
has.
for every day of the week.
And then some, Hannah.
And then some going out calls, but I didn't put that.
I don't know if you heard that. Hannah said she's got a collar for every day of the week, plus some for going out in. Not that she goes out anywhere. She's a house cat. Monster Mama, good evening. Just watched your floss storage video. Very helpful. Great stuff. That's what I like to hear. If it helps one person, I'm happy. Patsy used to have a dog that loved the laser pen. Yeah, you might have to borrow it for Casey. See how she reacts to it, Hannah.
I don't think it's so long with it, but I might have to try it for Sunday. I think it looks more at me than the ground.
Hey, Laurie. How are you? Good to see you this evening. We've just been talking about my cat and shenanigans with the brand new laser pen.
£2, being it.
Laurie's in Canada, Hannah.
Sure, they have B&M over there.
No, they don't have
No, they don't
B&M
have
in
B&M over
Canada.
Then they miss it.
Well, of course they are.
You would say that though, wouldn't you?
Fredo time.
You've got an audience.
I bet I have, because she'll want the shiny. She can have the shiny in a bit. Unless there's one knocking about on the table, Anna.
Probably not.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, I'm just a anyway.
Bye then.
Yeah, upstairs, chicken.
Matter?
See you later then.
So I've got a city weekend planned. I don't have to go anywhere.
I'm going to have to make a plan with you on Saturday. I just so you have to go out.
So I'm planning to get caught up on some stitches. Which will be good if I can. Patsy says, how's Andy tonight?
Andy is fine.
Just fine and dandy.
He's fine and dandy is our Andy. See what I did there?
I certainly did. Catherine won't be joining us on Facebook. She's got taxi duty, but she will be catching up.
Taxi duty.
Yeah.
What's that entail then?
Hey, Enid. It's one of her children, or adult children's come to visit her, and she's moving. Well, she's transporting them around.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough.
I've been catching up on your videos, says Helen. And, oh, cracker blurry. Come on. Oh, I hate it when it does this. That's it. We catch up on your videos, and Nicola, you're so naughty. I've had Pandora in my stash for years now, so I'm thinking of joining in with you. Do it, do it, do it. Hashtag Nicola made me do it.
It's back again, that hashtag.
Certainly is. It's got some legs on it, I tell you.
Nicola made me do it.
Which makes me think of Ray Morris when I say that.
Why?
When you say do it.
Oh, yeah.
Hashtag Nicola is so naughty. Well, I try my best. That's all I'm going to say. So what I'll be doing next year is I'll be doing some pick a wheel, and I shall spin the wheel on my floss tube and start whichever one comes up out of the 12 on my next stitch with me. So with a 1 in 12 chance, and then going down accordingly, of Pandora being drawn. Teresa Little Stitcher has the hashtag Teresa made me do it. Yep. She certainly does. I've enabled just the odd 1 or 2 of you.
Just the odd 1 or 2?
Yeah, just the odd. That's a conservative estimate.
Fair enough.
I finished the first page on my first red sample. It's a hand across the sea pattern. Yeah, I've just seen that in it on Facebook. It looks lovely. And then I realised I was late starting my stream, and I was like, oh. But hey, I'm here. Only a minute late, but there you go. I'm chugging along on the second page now. Great stuff.
Oh, it's warm.
Oh, are you warm, dear? I'm sat here with a cardigan on.
I know, I noticed that, and I was thinking to myself, why?
Well, I haven't got all my insulation anymore, so I'm feeling the cold. It was the same yesterday in the office. It was obviously it's a nicely air-conditioned office, and I'm sat there with a cardigan around me. Everybody else is like, "Oh, it's so warm. It's so
It is
warm,"
warm.
and I'm like, "Where's my cardi?" But then you go to sleep and you sleep on top of, without covers on.
Mm.
But then in the morning, you're wrapped up like a bloody burrito.
Yeah, because during the night, it does get colder. And of course, if you are sleeping with no covers on, then you are going to feel that temperature difference. And I think what it is that your body just sort of gets used to it at first, because it's like cooling down from it being warm. And then it realizes, oh, hang on a minute.
There's nothing to keep the heat in.
Yeah. And then at like 4 in the morning, I find I'm putting the covers on me.
Gail is sat outside sweating bricks.
There you go. You see, it's not just me that's hot.
It sounds quite cool. I mean, we've got the fan on in here, but to be honest, I don't even need it.
Yeah, well, the fan's pointed at me, so
Wow.
it's doing what it needs to right now.
Are you hot stuff, dear? You need cooling down.
I wouldn't say that. I'm definitely not hot stuff. Before any of your followers decide to chime in on that one, I am not anything to look at.
Our wedding anniversary in about 6 weeks?
Hours, yeah, I know.
6 years married.
I know.
You lucky thing.
I know.
I need weight on me to sleep, says Laurie. Hubby asks if £200 is enough. Well, I've got a weighted blanket, and I quite like having that. It gives me quite a restful night's sleep, but it's not on at the moment. It's not been on for a bit, actually. Like if I'm struggling to sleep for whatever reason, I just find having a weighted blanket really helps. The only problem is that it's actually a short weighted blanket, so it doesn't cover. If it's up to my neck, it doesn't cover my feet. And if I have anything on, if I have any sort of cover, it has to be neck to toe. But then I might stick my feet out at bed for a little bit, because when your feet are stuck out, your whole body cools down just a little bit, even though you're wrapped up like a burrito. Patsy says she's just nice for a change. You're nice anyway, Patsy. I'm assuming you mean temperature-wise, but, you know. Dum, 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 dum. Put it on diagonally. That's a good idea. But yeah, weighted blanket is, for me, is the best thing. You know, if I'm struggling to sleep, weighted blanket, and I'm gone. Yes, you did, but thanks anyway. You're very welcome. Very welcome indeed. I have quite missed stitching on this piece this week.
Have you?
Mm.
And where would that be?
Well, I haven't stitched. This is the first time I stitched on it since, I think, last Wednesday. Because the model stitch has been taking up all my time.
Ooh. Okay.
What I might do is, I might, when I finish, put an Instagram picture up of this and the Stitch Pal stats and the expected finish. I've not done that for a bit for this. I do like Stitch Pal. Very true, Patsy, got to make those pennies. I haven't even told Andy this yet. I had an email back from the solicitor. She wants information that I've already given her. So
if you've already given her, then just point her in the direction of
that's what I'm going to do. That's my plan. I'm just calming down after reading it first. And then she's going to get it back.
Well, you're not happy about it?
No, I was not. She says that I need a valuation of the house. I had a valuation of the house. She says I need more bank statements. I've already told her, and so is the bank in that complaint email. They can't have any more. They've got as far as back as we can have. And if she thinks that I've kept 12-year-old bank statements in this house, then she's got another thing coming. Who keeps 12-year-old bank statements?
Who keeps any bank statements?
Well, exactly.
I mean, really,
paperless society now.
I'm going to say you don't need to keep statements these days because the bank will produce them on request. And
back in 2013, I had no idea that I'd need my accounts from my bank account statements from then. So I don't know. Yeah, that's exactly that, Enid. You know, 7 years for accounts purposes, absolutely. You know, but the solicitor's asking for bank statements back from when me and my ex-husband split up.
Well, that's not possible.
It's not possible. I mean, it could end up being to my detriment, but what can I do?
You can't do anything about it.
You know, I mean, I've submitted all the statements and they should really be taking a sensible view, but I suppose that any court won't deal in sensible, they'll deal in legal. Sensible and moral they won't deal in, will they?
No. Well.
Why do they need them? Patsy, I have to prove that I have paid every single bill. And, you know, I mean, she wasn't happy that the bank statements had your name on them. So. But, I mean, anybody, any idiot looking at those statements will be able to see the mortgage when I was paying it was just over £400 a month. Add on thick end of another £100 a month in mortgage income protection and critical illness cover. And I was paying every penny. He was paying for child maintenance alone. The only thing he was paying to me was child maintenance, which was anything from £1 a week to £70 a week, depending on whether or not he had a job. And that clearly is not enough to cover the mortgage. Even if he was paying £70 a week, £280 a month is not enough to cover half of the mortgage and the income protection, which was for his benefit too. And she's like, well, why didn't you do this and why didn't you do that? Well, it turns out I had some really shitty advice. So, of course, I can't. You know, but then again, he never said anything either. It turns out he had bad advice and all. So I'm just girding my loins ready to get an email sent back to the solicitor raising these points that, you know, I don't think anybody can be reasonably expected to keep bank statements beyond, say, the last 5 or 7 years at the very most.
Not when you're expecting a resolution without it. I mean, you know, this is the thing.
Exactly.
You might, you know, expect a couple of years back maybe, but not that far back.
The bank only keeps statements for longer than the 7 years if it's anything to do with secured borrowing. So mortgage statements and loan statements, if it's secured on, you know, your property or whatever, that's the only ones that they're obliged to keep.
And you know this because obviously...
I know this because I work in the world of finance. So, and from the conversation that I've had with the bank.
Which is fair enough.
So it's a proper battle. But it's one I shall take on, and I shall take on full force because he will not get the better of me. I have spent the last 11 years looking after and maintaining this house, paying every bill, and, you know, working to keep these children. And he hasn't done hardly a thing, but there you go. If you get to go to Citizens Advice, it's in the hands of solicitor Patsy, so Citizens Advice won't do a thing. Citizens Advice would say go through mediation, which we already tried. He refused to engage, hence why it's with the solicitor.
I don't bother with Citizens Advice myself. I never have.
I have my divorce decree from my mistake from like 15 years ago. Not certain if I should bin it. I'm remarried and thank God didn't have kids with my mistake. Yeah, you're lucky there, Enid. I would just keep it just in case. You know, you never know. You might have to prove something. You know, for example, you might get a bill through your door and you can prove then that you divorced him at such and such a time and therefore you're not liable. The legal world stinks. It really does. But what can I do? I should have been a solicitor.
No, Nikki, you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
Why? Hey, I'd have been on £300 an hour, which is what I'm paying my flipping solicitor.
That's as many
for her to ask for the same thing over and over again.
Listen,
idiot.
My limited knowledge of the law, I can tell you right now, it'll be stressful.
Yeah, probably. I do conveyancing, then that's not stressful. Not stressful at all.
Yeah, you're good at covering that one, aren't you?
Yeah. You see there, Enid, that's why this conversation is so good, because you get the hive mind. You didn't think of that. But yeah, it's very good evidence to show that you're not liable for anything after that date, because you got a divorce. See, Andy has an ex, and she had the absolute brass neck to send a debt letter here once for something in her name. Oh my God. It didn't happen again.
Yeah, the less said about her, the better.
Yeah. You see, it's like my ex-husband. There's a reason that they're an ex.
I am quite embarrassed about her, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, you twonk. That's bloody Herefordshire, not Hertfordshire.
You calling yourself a twonk?
Yes, because I've labelled this wrong. I've mixed up Herefordshire and Hertfordshire like an idiot. West Midlands.
Easy mistake to make.
Well, yeah, considering the virtually spelled the same.
Yeah. Yep, you're absolutely right there, Patsy. And honest to God, in the last 10 years, she has absolutely behaved herself, which is a good job, really, because I'd go and thump her.
Now, let's not incite violence.
I said I would, not that I definitely would.
Correct answer.
Husband 2.0 is my upgrade, says Enid. Agree. Husband 2.0 is definitely mine.
I'm not the be all and end all.
Ah, you're good enough for me, love. You know how to wash up and work the washing machine and the tumble dryer, which is a good thing because I don't.
It's good to know I've got my uses, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good to know why I'm here.
Well, there you go. The roles are reversed in this household. You're Mr. Mum.
Yeah. Well, not fully, but
Well, not entirely, because the girls are fairly self-sufficient, but
well, I'm not too sure about that.
I say fairly and I mean it loosely.
Yeah, I was going to say, given Hannah's performance yesterday, morning.
Oh, I know. If any of you have ever watched any of my ASMR or music stitch with me's, Hannah does a little bit of a tooting. She comes down here, gets a breakfast, sits down and lets one fly.
Yeah, normally Nikki's doing a stitch with me at the time.
Yep, she's a sod for it.
And then you tend to find that Huggins here has to edit it out. Which I can do. I'm not saying I can't do it, but it's a pain.
My mistake doesn't know where I live, not my phone number, blocked him on my email, etc. Doesn't stop him trying something though, does it? Hey Andy, says Patsy, sometimes a good thumping works wonders.
It probably does, but I'm not a violent person. And
Nobody's saying you have to be.
Well, I suppose.
She was very, very lucky that that day that I didn't go and find her.
Maybe you should have done.
Oh, well.
But like I said, I don't know whether it would serve any purpose, frankly.
True, it's been an eternity. One would hope he's moved on and let it go by now. Well, let's hope, Enid. Leave it to Nicola, says Patsy.
That could be another hashtag. Hashtag leave it to Nicola.
Hashtag leave it to Nicola.
Yeah. Maybe it should be Nikki, eh?
Perhaps.
Oh, man alive.
In the unlikely event he shows up here, I'll call the cops and get a restraining order. I ain't playing. Good on you, Enid. Unfortunately, I still have to keep a line of communication open with my mistake because of the children.
Well, only
for the time being.
One of them.
Yeah, because she's under 16.
Because the other two are old enough now that they don't actually have to talk to him anymore, and thankfully they don't.
Yep.
And Lauren's not that far away from.
Yeah, she's not that bothered.
No, Lauren doesn't like talking to him, let's be fair.
Well, normally, they have a weekly phone call because he doesn't have physical contact, just telephone contact with them. There's lots of circumstances and it involved a court order and all kinds of stuff. It wasn't harmful to them.
Well,
but
not physically.
No, but the way he conducts himself is, shall we say, was questionable as to the damage and the impact that it would cause. So he has a phone call with her once a week, and sometimes it's, hi, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I've been to school. No, not much. Yeah, I've been to town. Bye.
That's it. It's literally over as quick as that. That is not an exaggeration.
And sometimes it's literal one-word answers. And I've never, ever prevented the children from having contact with them, with him. But obviously, when we split up, there were just a few concerns. He accused me of keeping them away from him and preventing access, which was simply not the case. Because I'm a firm believer that children should have two parents, and they deserve two parents. If they are together and happy, great. If not, then you're better off with one.
Well, they've got me, haven't they?
And we have you as a stepdad, and you stepped up, stepped in.
Not the best.
I tried for a long time, a lot of years, to make my first marriage work, but there's only so many times that you can kick before your foot gets tired. And it comes to a point that no matter what I did, this wasn't enough, and it just fizzled out. Had a big white wedding and everything.
You were talking about your wedding as well the other day, weren't you?
Was I? Who was I talking to? Oh yeah,
You
you.
was on about
Harris
you were on
Common.
about the
Pub.
The pub, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it called? The
Full moon.
The full moon. That's it. I knew I had a moon involved somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Full
So
moon.
what the hell?
Half moon. Totally lives.
Yeah, absolutely, Patsy, his loss. And I think he did realise that eventually. You know, a couple of years after we split, he did reach out to me and apologise for his behaviour. Not that I actually believed it, because he had left me in a state of, he'd left me in a state of anxiety and, you know, some awful mental anguish, I suppose. Took me a long time to trust. And got to a point that, you know, I knew he was lying because his mouth were moving. I stood stage right 4 years in. That was 4 years too long. Let's just say it was very toxic. Yep. I'm with you on that, Ben Sheenid. For me, it was 16 years. And if I'd have still been married this year, we would have been married for 27 years. And I cannot think of anywhere I would rather be now. I certainly wouldn't have wanted to have been celebrating a 27th wedding anniversary. And the good thing is as well that the kids are grown up enough and mature enough to understand about this, which is a real plus, because I won't ever trash him. You know, I would never ever turn around to them and say, your dad's a waste of space, this, that and other. You know, for me, it's just a case of we were together, we were married, it didn't work. That doesn't stop you from having a relationship with him should you choose to.
Yeah, they made their mind up on that one pretty quickly.
I know, and I get that, but what I'm saying is that I didn't turn them against him. Oh, flipping. I'm so focused on stitching, you see. Didn't turn them against him. So, you know, and I didn't say to them, your dad's an absolute because he did this to me. Don't speak to him. It's not my game, that. I think it's wrong. Children are children, not weapons. Oh, excuse me.
He's a weapon.
Yeah, massive tool. Anyway, moving on from him, because I don't want to talk about him all night.
Well, no, because you've been going for what, 40 minutes, and most of the conversation's been about your ex-husband.
Well, actually, it's been about my frustration with the solicitor and my ex-husband.
Well,
There you
yeah,
go.
kind of an extension. But...
Yeah. So I am mentally putting together an email in my mind for the solicitor. And let's just put it this way.
It ain't going to be
pleasant. she's working for me, not the other way around. And if she can't be asked to look through the reams of paper that I've already given her, and that's her bag, but she can't expect me to provide where I've already provided and where I cannot physically provide. So there we go. Oh, come on. There. Let her have it. I certainly will, Patsy. There's, you know, us Yorkshire lasses, we're not backwards at coming forwards.
Right. We are winning here.
Oh. Try the right place. Andy sat next to me chuntering place names.
Yes, this is what I do. This is what I do.
Well, counties.
Yes, because you know, if I didn't do stuff like this, I wouldn't be me, would I?
No, you would not.
I do think it frustrates you sometimes.
If it did, I'd let you have it.
You'd let me have
And
it.
when it has frustrated me in the past, I've let you have it, haven't I? Told you. You're not backwards and coming forward.
I'm not sure I follow. What are you on about?
You know when things have, it's got a bit much. And I've said to you, no, it's too much. It doesn't frustrate me as such.
I don't know so much.
How many parishes do you have left? Patsy's asking.
I was asked this by Look North yesterday in that email. I think with today's episode coming out, I now have 9,200 exactly. So, but it's less than that because obviously there's some that are done. They're just not out yet. So it's less than that.
So 9,200 videos to release. That's what we're saying, isn't it?
Yes, that's probably a better way of looking at it.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yes, I suppose it is.
10,774. You've done about
400.
474. 10,474. So you've done 1,200, haven't you?
Yeah.
Nearly 1,300.
Yeah.
That's good going, that.
Yeah. It is, yeah. And I know some of your Stitchy friends are watching them because I had
Comments from them.
a couple of comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Just a few then. Yeah, just one or two.
I'll make it.
Has Andy been to Lancashire?
Yeah. I've only been
Burnley.
to Burnley and Highburn I've done. So 9 of them in total. I've done all of those. So all 8 in Burnley and the only one that there is in Highburn. So if you want to know what they all are, the one in Highburn is Altham, which is on the edge of Accrington. And then the 8 in Burnley are Hapton, Havergemeaves, Dunnockshaw. This is testing my memory. Briarcliff, Worsthorne with Hurstwood, Eighton Hill, Padiham, and Cliviger. Hey.
Whereabouts do you live in Lancashire, Gail?
I impressed myself there. I remembered them all.
Oh, there you go, you see. You only have the memory of the goldfish for anything that concerns me, love. You have the memory of an elephant for anything that concerns that. It's true. Don't you sit there with that affected look on your face because you know it's true. I'm going to buy some stuff from Hands Across the Sea, I've decided, because I'm fancy like that. Good for you, Enid. Gail is in Rochdale. Anything for Rochdale, around
No,
Rochdale?
Rochdale's a completely unparished area.
Yeah, completely unparished area, that Gail. So he won't be visiting Rochdale. But he has done a Burnley series, so...
If we are talking Greater Manchester, though, I do have 5 in Manchester that I've done.
all right.
All 4 in Trafford and the only one in Manchester itself. So those are Ringway, Trafford, say that again. Ringway, Carrington, Partington, Dunham Massey, and Warburton.
There you go.
You may know those if you live in the Greater Manchester area, because Rochdale is Greater Manchester. It's not Lancashire, some people might say. Not these days. Why is that not coming up?
Is there a parish encyclopedia or something?
Yeah, me.
Where do you get your information about parishes? That's what Patsy's asking.
All over the place. I use the internet a lot.
Yeah, there's lots of websites.
I live right. So my sort of reference point, my main reference point is actually, don't laugh at this, it's actually a German website.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I use it is because it pulls all the information it has from the Office for National Statistics.
Yeah, ONS data, isn't it?
And that is basically the Bible.
It's a start point, isn't
the
it?
Bible, effectively, for what I do.
Yeah.
And the great thing about that website is it doesn't just do it for like one country; it does it for the whole world.
And
So
is it public access?
Yeah. So even though it's a German website, it's not just about Germany; it's about the whole blooming world. And so you could research anywhere on that, no matter where you are.
Patsy's asking, and what even is a parish? Because I don't think we have them up here. Patsy's in Scotland.
You do in Scotland.
Okay.
There's only 874 of them from memory. We've got quite a few more in here.
So Andy's talking about civil parishes,
Yeah, not church.
not ecclesiastical ones.
There's
So
a difference, and it always confuses people.
yeah. If you just have a Google, Patsy, for the definition of a civil parish.
It's really hard to explain, and I'm here all night. But basically, it's the lowest form of government that we have in this country.
Yeah. So, decisions in the local area are usually made by a parish council, which then or run through a parish council and then up to the local council.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So it's confusing.
Gail says in Rochdale, her town hall has just had millions spent on it. Right, I hope the council tax don't go up.
It probably will. Something like that comes out of public purse, Nicky. That's what your council tax pays for, isn't it? It's like our town centre. We regenerated that. I was actually in town centre earlier today, and I just thought I went to Bon Marsh because I had a couple of things for it. And I was looking sort of in front of that. I think that's the first time I've seen that particular part of town for a bit. It looks nice, don't get me wrong.
They've done all the paving, haven't they?
It looks nice, don't get me wrong. But, yeah, was it really necessary?
Apparently so.
There wasn't nothing wrong with it.
Says Patsy News to me. I think Louisiana has parishes, says Enid.
Yeah, it does, because in America, you're used to counties being your first sort of level of state administration, aren't you? In Louisiana, it's different. I think Louisiana and Virginia are the only two. I'll have to check this, I'm not totally sure, but I think they're the only two states that don't have counties. I think.
She's asking why don't they have counties? So presumably it's just something to do with how the area was divided up and to be managed way back when, I would have thought.
Hang on. I've intrigued myself.
Oh, Andy's intrigued now.
Well, you see, you've started something. Right, list of United States counties. Because I'm pretty sure it's Virginia and Louisiana that don't have counties.
Hey, you're already blowing Enid's mind.
Hang on. How do you mean?
She just says mind blown. Needs Andy's channel's URL. Okay. Oh, just flipping camera. Come on. Thank you. Let me find it for you, Enid. Oh, come on.
Sure, I read it somewhere.
Where is TV at the Village Idiot? Maybe that's something you can do as a special video, Andy, about the American parishes.
I don't know enough about America.
I'm sure you could read up on it, and I think that would make a cracking video.
You know what? I was almost right. Here we go. Among the 50 states, 44 are entirely partitioned into counties. Louisiana has got 64 parishes. Alaska has 19 equivalent boroughs and 11 sparsely populated census areas. Virginia has a mixture of 95 counties and 38 independent cities. Maryland, Missouri, and Nevada are each composed entirely of counties, except that each also has exactly one independent city, Baltimore, St. Louis, and Carson City, respectively. So I was almost right. I knew Louisiana and Virginia, they were in my mind, and I said Alaska, didn't I, before I got that up?
I think you ought to do a Beyond the Boundaries about that. Did you know that there are parishes in the USA?
Yeah, but only in Louisiana.
And Virginia, you just said?
No, Virginia is composed of a mixture of 95 counties and 38 independent cities. The bit about Maryland, Missouri, and Nevada, I didn't know that, but I was right when I said Louisiana and Virginia were different, and I said Alaska as well, maybe, and I was right about that too. It just goes to show how much research I do on useless stuff.
Yeah. Patsy says we need to do the Scottish parishes first. Maybe when we build the commune,
when I've done England,
it'll give Andy somewhere to stop. Save on hotel costs.
I'm not going to get to Scotland.
What if the king had let us have a bit of the Balmoral estate? You know, there's plenty of moorland and stuff around there. We could just take a corner of it.
I'm already planning to do the same with Sandringham when I get down there.
What, for us to build our commune there?
Yeah.
Andy's just blown his own mind, yeah? Probably.
What it is, it's like I said, sometimes I just get a bit bored and I just research random stuff. This is how I know so much, because this is the kind of thing that I'll do. If I've got bored with something, I'll just randomly search for something similar and that'll pop up. And I knew I'd seen it before. And so that's why it's sort of stuck in my head. And so I was right. I knew I was right. Just the sort of finer specifics of it. Come in handy if I'm ever on a game show, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Got a question for £1 million.
I wonder if the beast knows that.
Oh, he'll know that. There's nothing he doesn't know. We've actually met him, haven't we?
Yeah, we've done a quiz with him.
For those who don't know who the beast is, we are talking about Mark Lebet.
The Chaser.
The Chaser, indeed. And trust me, he is as big as he looks on the telly.
He's such a nice guy, though.
He's lost a lot of weight, though, now.
Yeah. Stayed at my friend's house, ate all her hotel chocolates, and then wanted a Greg's. But such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
I was reading Wikipedia about Edward the Confessor last night. Yeah, standard.
And what did you learn about him?
What was the last thing I was reading on Wikipedia?
I don't know. Could be anything, knowing you. I mean,
I use Wikipedia quite a lot.
okay, so what
It was probably about an actor, I would say. Normally it's it would have been. What were I watching?
Yeah, because you tend to look things up on Wikipedia when you see something in a video, don't you?
Yeah.
You've done that a few
Oh. 2 ticks. Well,
times. Have you gone wrong?
No, I haven't gone wrong. It's just that my loop finish hasn't. That's it. Hey, Ashley. Good evening. How you doing? It's evening here in the UK. It's 8:30. Just have to flip my hoop. Oh my days, excuse me. I wonder what like 1,000 was like. Probably hellish, I'm guessing. Yeah, I would have said so. What stand do I use? I've got a Lowry. I was looking up the surname Drew in my family tree. It's French. Oh. Yeah, I'll have probably been looking up something about an actor that I'd seen, and or you know, somebody I recognised and couldn't remember where else I'd seen him in, that sort of thing. It happens quite a lot. If you believe it now, I've got a sprained finger. Oh, heck. How do you manage this, Ashley? Bless you. I have a floor model Lowry and a table clamp, using the table clamp right now, and the lighted magnifier I yonked from my husband. Yep. I am now the proud owner of a lighted magnifier. My stitching accuracy and speed has increased dramatically. Yeah, I tell you what, that lighted magnifier was fantastic when I was doing that model stitch, because it made counting a breeze. I'm not even joking, because the counting on that linen that I had was awful because it was so slubby.
That's a term I'm not familiar with, slubby.
Right, so even weave is exactly what it says. It's an even weave of fabric, so the warp and the weft are exactly the same thickness. It's uniform.
Okay.
Linen is made from flax,
Right.
and which is a natural fibre. And because of the natural nature of it, sometimes it can go a little bit thick, sometimes it can go a little bit thin.
Okay.
And on linen, you can see these like thicker areas, these thicker clumps.
Right.
And they're called slubs.
Slubs.
Yeah, slubs.
Slubs. I love that word, slubs.
Pretty sure the barn work I was doing last week, carrying water or some such thing. Oh dear. I'm switching on Svag at 28 count as far as I know. Yeah. I don't work on linen very often. I am not a huge fan of linen, if I'm honest. I mean, if you were doing like a traditional sample like Hans Cross Sea or whatever, then yeah, linen would probably be just a ticket. But for like my full coverage, definitely the even weave, so it's uniform. I get married in a month, and of course it's my ring finger, which is now quite swollen. Oh, heck. Have you had it checked out, Ashley? Maybe and make sure that you haven't got a fracture or anything. Ever since I learned to stitch on linen, I hear cicadas outside. It's late summer for sure. We don't have them here, or if we do, I never hear them.
What?
Cicadas.
Cicada.
Crickets.
Oh.
They're like a cricket. You know when you hear the and in movies and stuff, the
Yeah.
noise in the background.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
I think it's that. Could be wrong.
Why don't we have crickets here?
Well, we do. We just don't have a lot of them. Pretty sure it's not a fracture. I'm not having a ton of pain or anything. Not much at all, and I can bend everything if I'm slow about it. It's just swollen more than anything. I see. Are you like icing it and stuff? You know, maybe tape it to the next finger as though it were fractured, just to support it as a buddy. I'm icing it and I've got a splint on. Good stuff. Well, fingers crossed, no pun intended, that by the time of your wedding day, that it will be sufficiently back to itself and there won't be any struggles. Just don't do anything daft like, you know, spraying something else. We all do it.
Hey.
Monster Mama used to only stitch on 25 count. Recently went to 18 count. The heids are huge, but and much enjoyable to stitch. So much less fiddly. Don't need special equipment to see it. Yeah. I stitch on a range of counts. This is 20 count that this is stitched on, and I don't need a magnifier at all. 25 count, it depends on the project, because if it's something that has a lot of confetti or pale colours, then yeah, out comes the magnifier, especially if my eyes are a little bit tired as well, you know, because I have 50-year-old eyes that aren't very good.
Yeah.
Varifocal glasses, not very good. So
You're a little hard on yourself there, to be fair. I think
I probably am, but it's what we do, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, this model stitch, the linen was a 28 count, and I was going over 2. But because of the linen and the slubs, I was struggling a fair bit.
Oh,
but I got there. So is everything ready for your wedding then, Ashley? Anything else to do? Need any bridesmaids? Could pop over. I'm sure Patsy would nip across and all. We've been saying we need to go on a plane somewhere, haven't we? So exciting, planning a wedding. Me and Andy planned ours in secret. The only people who knew that we were getting married were the 12 people that we'd invited. And we just kept it very quiet. Yes, Patsy says, count me in, on my way. Where are we going? So come on, Ashley. Tell us which is the nearest airport and we'll be there. We can bridesmaid, can't we, Patsy? We can hold your dress while you pee. We can make sure that,
Hang on.
you know, the mother-in-law behaves.
Hang on.
What?
Back up. You can hold her dress.
Well, she pees. Yes, that's a bridesmaid's job. Especially, you know, if you get married in a big dress, how are you going to go? How are you going to pee?
Um,
I'm pretty much set, I think, don't really have to plan much this myself, as it's a rental company doing a set up, flowers, etc., the handling music, the photographer. Yep.
I don't know whether just to be a little bit weirded out by that.
It's a woman thing. I had struggles when I got married to John in my big meringue white wedding dress. I had to have somebody help me pee. I had somebody hold my frock up for me because it was huge. It's my actual mother that needs to behave, not your mother-in-law. All right, that's fine. Yeah, we can do that. You see, Patsy's in. Just tell us where to come and when, and we're there. I've lost all this weight, so I look nice and skinny, but I won't outshine you, I promise. Andy's chuckling his head off here.
I don't even know why. Oh, why do you do this?
With bells on indeed, Patsy. Might need actual security from my mother. Hey, I'm a strapping Yorkshire bird who can handle folk. Don't you worry about that. I can handle you, Mum. Happy to help, just say the word. Can never have too many bridesmaids. Indeed, you cannot.
What is the generally accepted number?
I don't think there is a generally accepted number. I think it depends.
Oh, yeah. On.
How many do you want? How many people have you got who can be a bridesmaid? And is there anybody that you might offend if you don't ask them?
Well,
I had 3 lovely bridesmaids for my second wedding.
I wonder who they could have been.
Me and Andy had a very small wedding, 12 of us, including us. There was me and him, and my three girls. That was 5. Andy's parents and my stepdad, which is 8. My brother, which is 9. My sister and my nephew, which is 10, and the photographer's wife, which is 11.
The photographer's wife wasn't
12.
The photographer's wife wasn't even one of the guests.
Yeah, she wasn't even one of the guests. It was actually supposed to be my best friend, but my best friend was actually on holiday abroad at the time, so couldn't make it. And yeah, it was just the 12 of us, and plus the photographer, and we just went and had an afternoon tea. Didn't we? It was lovely.
Did.
Ashley has 3 currently. Well, you're almost due to double that. Gail had 3 and 250 at your wedding. Blimey. I actually found it a bit difficult getting married second time around. I only wanted a small wedding because I don't think I could have faced 100 guests and my mum not be there, because my mum had passed away. My mum passed away in 2013. Me and Andy got married in 2018, and I just didn't want a whole big shebang because my mother weren't there. So, I mean, I was very lucky that Andy agreed the same as me. Let's just make it a small and intimate wedding, and we got married at, 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday?
Something like that. I don't remember the time, I just remember the place and what happened.
Yeah, about 9:30 in the morning on a Saturday. We went and had an afternoon tea, and then literally went for our honeymoon. It was beautiful. Isle of Man, yes. London and Rome.
Yeah, so the the way this went down is that Nikki left all the planning to me, effectively, and I genuinely didn't tell her a thing about where we were going. It was like one big surprise.
Yeah, we ended up on a train to Liverpool, and I'm like, Liverpool? What we're doing in Liverpool?
So the idea was that I said to Nikki like a couple of weeks before that we are going on honeymoon and we're going to take 4 different modes of transport to get to our first place, because we knew we were going to Rome, because that was planned
a year before
we even decided to get married.
It was planned a year before. It just turned into a honeymoon.
Fall at the same sort of time, so we thought, well, we'll tag that onto wherever I go first.
It just turned into a honeymoon, didn't it?
It did, yeah. So I said to Nikki, 4 modes of transport from the reception to where we're going first. And the first mode, I gave her it instantly, it's a taxi, right? But I'm not telling you where that taxi's taking us. It was a taxi driver who revealed that we were going to the train station. At which point, I produced the train tickets, gave them to Nikki, and said, there you go. See if you can guess where we're going. And obviously it said we were going to Liverpool. And you still had no idea. And
yeah, so come out of the station at Liverpool Lime Street. I'm like, okay, what the heck are we doing in Liverpool?
So I said to her at this point, now the third mode of transport, we can either get another taxi or we can walk it.
Well, by that point, we've been sitting around at the reception, and we've been sitting in a taxi, and we've been sitting on a train, so we opted to walk, didn't we?
So we walked it, and you still had no idea until you saw the River Mersey, and even then you weren't sure.
No.
But the second you saw the Mersey, you were like, oh, I see water. And I'm like, yeah, that's where we're going.
So we ended up on a ferry to the Isle of Man.
Yeah, we did.
Got to the Isle of Man when it was dark.
Yeah.
And had a walk along the promenade to our hotel and our room, which had a sea view, which made me very happy because I love the sea.
I managed to get what I think is the best hotel that Douglas has got. And I managed to get a room with a sea view as well. Okay. And it wasn't extortionate price-wise.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you.
We'll just catch up on comments. Hubby and I eloped, been married 18 years now. That's wonderful. Sorry, just trying to pick off a thread. I don't even have 50 guests, as said Ashley. People really haven't RSVP'd yet, which is stressful. I think that's just plain rude of them. With sort of 6 weeks to go, or however long it is, a month or, whichever, you would certainly expect for them to have let you know by now, Ashley. I think you're kind of getting the measure that I'm a little bit fiery at times. I would have been kicking up an almighty stink. That's understandable, yeah. Ashley, you could tell your bridesmaid about the red wine stumble trick. Ooh, not sure what that is. Ian is outside trying to find a cicada. No worries at all.
So then, obviously, we've got to the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
And then we proceeded to head straight to the airport the next morning, which also confused Nikki, because what I'd done is I'd hired a car, but the place to pick it up from was the airport. So we got on this bus, didn't we?
Yeah.
To take us down to the airport. We weren't actually getting a flight. We were just picking up the car.
We went over a ferry bridge.
We did, didn't we? Yeah.
Remember that?
But the point of it being the airport was because the second part of the sort of honeymoon was to get a flight from the Isle of Man to London. So
yeah.
So when I took the car back,
it was just convenience.
It was just leave at the airport, get on the plane, get done.
And I've never seen such a quiet terminal as the Isle of Man. They actually had to go and ask somebody to open up the border control thing. Where you put your luggage through the X-ray machine and stuff. They actually had to go and find somebody to open it.
Yeah, because it's
that quiet.
The Isle of Man's airport is not all that, is it? It's effectively just one building.
Yeah.
With
and it's just like this one big room where you've got 2 X-ray machines and the dude with his little magnet or whatever it is where he sort of goes sweeps up and down. And that's where the bar is, and that's where the cafe is, and that's where the departure gate is. It's all in this one room. It's like about the average size of a banqueting hall that could seat 200 people.
It's not much bigger, no.
No, it's tiny.
And so we were then off to London for a couple of days.
Yep. And then flew to Rome.
Yeah, and then we were down to Rome, weren't we?
Rome was lovely. Really enjoyed Rome. I see none. I went around the Vatican. I got photographs of the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. No photo, no video.
Yeah, you're not supposed to photograph the Sistine Chapel, are you?
Nope.
Yeah, we did. Rebels.
I'm a rebel. Okay.
Hey, speaking of the Sistine Chapel, my memory is a little bit sketchy on this, but didn't you stitch that?
I've got a work in progress of it, but I can't find the pattern. Don't know what I've done with the pattern.
Oh.
It's been a long time since I picked it up. Okay. We've just celebrated our 27th wedding anniversary. We had a big church wedding. Even though I'd been married before, we had to have meetings with the bishop and a special license. Wow. 27 years ago, that would have been very rare. Okay. Enid and her husband got married at a courthouse, and she's looking for the cicada because she's a nerd. Where the heck have I just put that thread down there? I loved nature. Cicadas are freaky looking. It would be cool to record a short one. Cool dragonfly did visit, however. It's when you want to get rid of an obnoxious wedding guest. One of the bridesmaids accidentally stumbles and pours a glass of red wine over said guest, making the guest leave. Ooh, hey, Ashley, you can file that one away.
It's a dirty trick, isn't it?
Yeah, but if it works. I think the species here is a dog day cicada, but I'm not certain. There's so many grasshopper species near me, it's wild. Hi, Clover Stitcher. Cicadas climb and think of its wood must be a tree. Yes, very difficult. Extenuating circumstances, right. Cool.
Good conversation tonight, Nikki.
Very. It always is in here. I love it.
Yeah, I have to admit, your one advantage to your live streams is that because stitching is such a this is going to sound terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. If there's any men in here, I do apologise. Because stitching is a very female dominated pastime. The conversation's good because women like to chat, don't they?
Some men do too.
Some men do too, yes.
That would work, but we're having a dry wedding. Oh, well, perhaps the same thing could happen with, I don't know, some sort of food that's a strong colour.
A food that's a strong colour.
Yeah. So, I don't know, it could be walking with, a plate with your dinner on it, and, dinner could just fly. Barbecue, anything with barbecue sauce. That could work. See, I'm thinking. I've put these stitches in the wrong place. That's because I'm thinking about barbecue sauce now.
Thinking about food.
Actually, I'm just let me just get these stitches out.
All right.
This is something I don't have to do very often. I don't often miscount. I'm only keeping the frog for a few minutes, though. I'm letting it escape once I've done this. Be warned. Am I hired? Oh, great. Right, Sky Scanner, what's your nearest airport? I hope your passport's in date, Patsy. Have we got a big hat? We need a big hat for a wedding. I'm gonna be the unofficial bridesmaids. We're gonna go out there and we're gonna sort Ashley's mum out. All good fun. I'm sure it will be absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. And if she does misbehave, then she's embarrassing herself, nobody else. Passport's okay, but I need to get a hat. Right, okay. It's amazing what you can learn from Reddit. Lots of wedding-related stories on there. Ooh. You know, I've never joined Reddit. I've never been a member on Reddit, but I do read Reddit. There's a few things that I've read on there, read on Reddit, and I do find it quite interesting. But I kind of try not to get heavily involved and stuck into stuff on there because it's just another social media platform, and do I really need another social media platform in my life? So, you know.
Yes, I limit myself.
I've got Facebook, got Instagram, got YouTube. I'm on Twitter, but I tend to only read certain people's tweets, or X as it's called, but they're still tweets, I think.
Yes, until Musk decides he's going to rename them, which he hasn't.
Well, if he decides he's going to rename them, he can. Anna Karen, it's amazing what you can find on Reddit. Ashley, I've one bridesmaid that knows how to handle her, and my mom's been warned about bad behaviours. Good stuff. Oh, you're back, Laurie. Phone died. Oh, dear. You're back now, and that's what's important. Okay, let's just mark these few off. Doing well on this tonight.
Wow.
3705. Where are you, 3705? Oh, dear. You still warm, dear?
No, I've cooled down a bit now. I've got 2 fans on, haven't I?
2? It's greedy.
Well, I've got my little one here and my big one there. I've got a big fan.
It's your biggest fan?
That's my biggest fan, and that's my littlest fan. We've got a couple of fans in it.
Yeah, well, at least you've got 2 fans, dear. That's meant to make you laugh. Come on.
My biggest fan is stitching right there.
Well, no, your biggest fan is trying desperately to thread this pissing needle because it don't want to thread tonight. Yeah, do you guys have this? Did I say this the other day? Sometimes you can thread every needle first time and it'd be perfect first time. And then other times you're jabbing away at it trying to get the flipping thing threaded and it just won't have it. Happens to me so much. It's so annoying. Yeah, definitely some sort of gremlin, isn't it, Patsy? Very, very frustrating. My life more than you know. You know, if I ever win the lottery and I end up in a big house with a servant and this, that, and other, the servant's just going to be sat solely threading needles for me. I'm going to do that. You know, get myself a maid or something that will just sit and thread needles while I stitch. I pay them a good wage. They wouldn't be short. Today's struggle and yesterday's been putting my needle constantly in the wrong hole on my even weave. Yeah, I know how that one feels. That does happen. I've just lost a ballpoint needle. Goodness knows where it's gone. Yeah, this one's a ballpoint, which is perhaps why I'm having a touch of trouble because the eyes are only fairly small. So it could be why I'm having Bit of drama with it. You send your resume. Cool. You're hired anyway, Laurie. You can be the I'll tell you what, you can just come anyway and we'll just hire somebody else to do the needles for both of us. If they fall ball down, they go for miles. Yeah. Okay. Nicola, can you show me tips on how to keep the thread secure on the needle? Yeah. Let me just undo this. You know, somebody was on Needlebugs group earlier on talking about this. Right, I don't know how much of this you'll see, I'll be quite honest, but what I tend to do is, see the needle there, I've got about 1.5 inches of thread in my hand. So I've pulled it quite tight. I'll use my middle finger and just push I'll hold on to the thread with my middle finger so the needle's sliding up and down the thread. Then I kind of put that thread over, then loop the needle over so it just kind of ties on, just ever so gently. I know it's chuffing blur. Thank you. I know it's hard to see. Let me just take it off and show you again. So keep the thread tight, go over and then under and pull that thread through. And it's so easy just to pick that. Come on. It's so easy just to pick that little tie open, but it means that I can pull it and it's not moving. That thread, that is not coming off until I choose to take it off and just pinch it with my nail and just give it a little pull. I don't know how much of that you could see, Celia. Was it enough? I'm actually struggling having any splint on because I have a friend who's been waiting 5 years for the stitch I'm doing for her and she's coming to the wedding. I'm determined to get it done. Ah, bless you. Have you got much left to do, Ashley? You might as well, Celia, if you do use that method, you might just hear it pop a little bit as you put it through the fabric, but you know, it's not tearing or splitting the block or anything. It's just literally a little pop.
Oh, yeah.
Don't push yourself too hard, Ashley. Wedding plans must come first. Yeah, absolutely. Laurie's quite right. Nothing much left at all, just a few filling stitches and back stitching beads. That's plenty enough though. But if you just pace yourself, like Laurie's quite right that the wedding plans come first. You know, I'm sure that your friend will understand if it's not quite ready. This little bit's been filling quite well, actually. All right, dear.
Yeah, fine.
Oh, it works. Oh, cool. And so I've just done, obviously, a load of stitches with this. So when I'll be able to take it off the needle, because as I've moved it in and out the fabric, I don't know if you can see that, Celia, that loop has loosened, because I pulled it quite tight, but that loop has loosened off. So it's now even easier. And if I want to, you know, loosen this off and just play a bit of thread chicken, I can just, if I can get the right thing, just pull it a wee bit and then just tighten it up again, so it gives me a little bit extra thread. She's coming from another province, so my hope is that she is not to have to mail it. Ah, right, I see. And Celia, this method works for 1 strand or 2 strands as well. And I find that with 2 strands, the earlier that you do it, the better it is, because as we all know, when you start stitching with 2 strands, if they're not secured, you know, like this, then you line up your 2 threads, you start stitching, but the end of the thread, there's always like a gap between them. One always ends up shorter than the other. And if you are using 2 strands, secure them to your needle first off, and it eliminates that problem. Let's just do a marky off. Oh, perhaps if I don't miss one. Dee, 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 dee. Okay. Great tip. I'm always short on 1 thread. Yeah, I don't even know why it happens. There's probably some science thing behind it, but you know, who cares about science when we just want to create something, eh? Here we go.
I never thought science would come into stitching.
Well, you never thought, no, you didn't think that chemistry was in cookery.
Well, it's not really.
It is.
I mean,
it's a form of chemistry. You're mixing 2 solutions, I suppose, to get the combination gives you an end result, doesn't it? Kind of thing, or more. I know what I mean. I might not sound like I know what I mean, but I know what I mean. Even like mixing drinks is chemistry. Take gin and tonic. They taste different. They taste differently on their own, but when they taste together, it's another new flavour.
I guess that's right. Isn't it?
That's another stitching wrong flip in place. That frog, I better bugger off. And that's me.
Wake up to a new computer in the morning.
Get the ump. Oh, why?
Because
updating.
It's yesterday was Patch Tuesday.
What's Patch Tuesday?
Right, so basically, to give you a brief overview, Microsoft introduced Patch Tuesday a few years ago, where basically they release a load of updates to the operating systems, Windows 10, 11, etc. And it's always on the 2nd Tuesday of every month where they send these updates through. And you obviously then, at some point in the coming days after that, the computer updates itself. And it's just told me there before I slept it that it wants to update. So in the morning I shall come back to an updated laptop.
Oh.
I'd be very surprised if that one doesn't say the same thing.
Well, I had a restart earlier, so not well. He wasn't. Didn't tell me. He wasn't screaming at me. Restart me. What it was the little restart icon that sometimes comes up in your system tray. It had an orange dot next to it.
That's it. Yeah.
And it asked me if I wanted to restart, and I had a moment to do it, so I just did it.
Yeah. That's why it'll have installed the Patch Tuesday updates.
Oh. You go. You learn something new every day. That's another quiz question thing.
Indeed.
What is Patch Tuesday? There we go. I don't know anything about computers, just know how to turn them on and turn them off.
And that will also explain, Nikki, why your laptop was horribly slow the other day.
Yeah, probably. All good fun.
Ooh.
Is one of those fans rotating? It was. Andy's just turned it off.
I've turned them both off.
One was one of those pedestal jobs that sits on the floor and rotates round.
Yeah, the other one is plugged into my laptop via USB.
Yeah. As soon as he's no longer hot stuff, he turned it off.
Well, no longer literally hot stuff, but according to you, I'm figuratively hot stuff. I disagree with this.
You disagree with everything. He seems so much quieter now. I thought so because every time it came around to you, it sounded like rain. It's very soothing. Oh, that's good to hear. I don't want to hear about any more flipping rain. We've had quite enough. Although I was talking to somebody today who I was doing the training with, and he's down somewhere between Coventry and Birmingham. So, 100 miles further south or whatever it is. And we had sort of a dull start here, but it wasn't raining, and he said it was tipping it down where he is. So that's what I said. Seen quite enough rain this summer. They'll still say there's a hosepipe ban though, won't they?
They usually do. Not quite sure how they could ever enforce a hosepipe ban, quite frankly.
I don't know how it works. Nah. 1, 2, 3. X. 7. Okay. 8, 9. Let's see. That one. 10. Oh, thanks, Grace. Lots of practice, and with the two-handed method that I use, which I still have to film, I kind of smooth the thread through and the tension stays quite even. And also having this nudge as well. It's a nudge hook that I'm using. Also seems to help enormously. Right, I have got to 300 stitches done, and I'm going to be calling it a night there. I think we've been going an hour and 40, almost an hour and 45 minutes. So I will be back. I'm just going to zoom in a touch closer so you can just see the stitches there. So we filled in lots on this one, this part, a bit on here. So I will be back on Sunday with another live. There'll be a Stitch With Me out tomorrow and a Stitch With Me out on Saturday. And if I can nail Andy down to sort out this video of my stitching technique, because I think it does differ to a lot of people's, you know, then I will do so. But I know he's got plans out filming tomorrow, and I'm at weigh-in, so I'm going to go and see how much weight I've lost. But anyway, so I will see you guys Sunday if you're around. If not, we'll be here same time, same place next week. So thanks, everybody. Take care. I'll see you on the next one. Bye. So bye-bye, dear.
Bye-bye.